to Muzzle Flash Tutorial 2. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this one will be better. I'm gonna try to go a little faster on this one. So I got my clip set up pretty much how we left it. We got the muzzle flash, goes off, boom. I turned off audio skimming. You guys should be able to hear me now. I didn't realize you couldn't hear me before I had my headphones on, and I guess I thought it would. I could hear the gunshot going off, but I guess you guys couldn't. So, but I turned the audio skimming. When that's on, it's kind of annoying, so that's off. I was gonna mention earlier, I want to say this real quick. This editor is totally different than like Final Cut 7 and Premiere Pro. There's no tracks here. If I'm sure you noticed that. There's no video tracks, no audio tracks. Just like one open timeline. They call it the magnetic timeline, or some people call it the liquid timeline. I think they first called it the liquid timeline, and then they changed it to the magnetic timeline. So you can put stuff anywhere and everything kind of just falls into place. There's not really need for tracks. I wouldn't mind having audio tracks, to be honest with you. That's one thing I don't really love about this program, is there's no separate audio tracks. You can kind of get confused because the audio is up here with the video, which I'm actually going to move right now. So I'm going to bring that down below, kind of what we're used to. And it'll snap into place because of snapping. But if you didn't have snapping on, you could hold shift and move it up and down, and it would hold it in position. Final Cut Pro 7 does the same exact thing. Okay, so now we got the audio below. That'll kind of get that out of the way. Now, one thing I want to add to this to make it more realistic is I think before we add the smoke, we will add a, what's it called? Sparks. We're gonna add some sparks. Sparks look sweet to me. I think they make a gunshot look more realistic. So we'll throw that in, and for some reason some of these aren't pre-keyed like how that muzzle flare was. I don't know what the deal is. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I got like a cheap stock kit. So this works. We'll learn about compositing, I'm sure, in class. But pretty much if you change this to screen, it lets you see through one layer to the other. And it does that with everything. So you know how in Final Cut Pro 7 or any other video editor, whatever video is on top is the one you see. Even if you can have a real nice video underneath and then you put a picture over it, and that picture over it is what you're gonna see. If you change that to screen or to overlay or some of those other compositing modes, it'll let you see both images at the same time, which is kind of cool sometimes. But this spark is really big, and it doesn't start till about, let's see if I can, okay, well it starts here. So I'm actually gonna blade it. No, that might not work. Yeah, okay, whatever. Hit B for blade, and hit A to go back to your selection tool. I'm gonna delete that, that's just dead space. I'm gonna bring the spark back up. Okay, so that's about the biggest a spark gets, is right about here. So I'm gonna put the playhead there. We will go to the transform tool, which for some reason I couldn't find last time. And we're gonna actually, let me scale it a little bit here. A cool thing actually I can show you guys, if you hit V, it disables that layer of video. I'm not sure if Final Cut Pro 7 does that or not, but it's really handy for this. So I'm scaling this, flipping it around. We're gonna move this to here. And now we got some sparks. Maybe we'll make it a little bit smaller. I don't know how big we want them. We'll put the sparks here. And they go away pretty quick. So we'll click back on this, hit V. Let's just see how that's gonna look. I think that's actually gonna look pretty cool, and yeah, that looks pretty sweet actually. Okay, I like that. Now we're gonna add smoke. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Sparks of smoke are the same deal, which if you don't have like a stock pack of footage like this, it's gonna be really hard to do because they're animated, so it's tough. You could do it like with After Effects or something if you're really good, but honestly I don't even know how to do that, so it's not easy. For smoke, there's all these side smoke puffs, but I don't know why, I just like puff 1. That's the one that I use the most. I think it looks the most realistic, so I'm gonna put that over this. And it's doing the same thing as the other one, so I'm gonna have to go and change. You gotta make sure the clip's highlighted and change it to screen mode. Let's drag that. And the smoke, same thing as the other one. It might not start right away. Yeah, starts right about here. Yep. So we're gonna B for blade it. A back for your selection arrow. Delete that. We'll pop this. We want the smoke to start right away. That actually looks pretty sweet, but it's too big. So we're gonna put the playhead here. Make sure the track is selected. And we're gonna transform this one down. We shouldn't have to, that actually put that in like the perfect position for us, so we won't have to really move it, I don't think. Yeah, maybe a little bit. We'll put it right. Yeah, we'll put it right about here. So it's gonna go, and there's just gonna be a puff of smoke. Gets bigger actually, but yeah, we might have to make it smaller. Okay. Yeah, it gets big, so we're gonna make it even smaller. Now you notice this smoke here, it lingers for a while and then it just disappears. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some keyframing, which is, we haven't done any of this in class. I can get rid of this since we're done with resizing. But keyframing is really important. It's, especially when you're doing motion graphic stuff, it's very important. So, but we're definitely gonna be learning that in class. But here's a quick lesson on keyframing. It's a little different in this program, but it kind of, I mean, it's all the same. It's just you do things differently, but different buttons and stuff, but everything's pretty similar. What we're gonna do is we're gonna keyframe the opacity, which is here. We want this smoke to start at 100%, which is what we got. So I hit that. That's the keyframe button. That button looks the same in Final Cut Pro 7. It should. We're gonna drag this all the way down till the end of the smoke. And I might even do it here because the smoke does linger for an awful while. I'm gonna drop this down to 0. And you notice the keyframe is still highlighted. I didn't touch that, it's still yellow. So as I move, you can see it goes up. So that smoke is gonna actually slowly fade away. So let's see how that looks real quick. It's there, and it's fading. Yeah, not bad. That'll work. I think since I did that, I might make this bigger again. Because it disappears when it gets really big. So we got it highlighted, and we're gonna go to scale, and we're just gonna make it a little bit bigger. Okay. So now we got that. Okay. I can actually make this stuff a little smaller too. Clip height. So the clips aren't as big. I didn't tell you guys this either last time, but we can get rid of it, like this whole thing here. We can click this and it'll all go away. So we have more room. We can get rid of all this too. I'm just gonna leave it though. We're done resizing. We can actually resize like all these windows here. We can, but there's not really need to. This we can remove. That's the inspector. It's called the HUD, heads up display, in Motion 5, and it looks the same. The buttons look the exact same. So I don't know why they call this the inspector and they call it the heads up display in Motion, but they're the exact same button. They do like the same thing. They just control all the parameters.